Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, I want to tell you about the time my fiance and I spent $35,000 on a wedding we couldn't afford, and how we started our marriage buried under a mountain of debt. Everyone said it was our special day. The wedding industry told us we deserved perfection. It was supposed to be the happiest day of our lives. But sometimes the perfect day creates an imperfect decade. And that's exactly what Solomon was warning us about in Proverbs 22:7. This is the story of how we traded our future for one perfect day. 4 years ago, I proposed to Rachel. She said yes, and we were thrilled. We'd been dating for 3 years and couldn't wait to start our life together. The week after the engagement, the pressure started. Rachel's mom asked, "Have you thought about venues? You need to book fast. The good ones fill up a year in advance." My mom added, "This is such a special time. You only get married once. You want it to be memorable." We started venue tours just to get ideas. That's when reality hit. The coordinator pulled out her pricing sheet. Our Saturday package starts at $8,000, and that's just for the space. Catering runs about $85 per person. We were thinking maybe 100 guests. That's $8,500 just for food, plus the venue. We were already at $16,500, and we hadn't even talked about flowers, photography, DJ, or the dress. "We can't afford this," I whispered to Rachel. But the coordinator smiled warmly. "Oh, honey, nobody can afford their wedding up front. That's what payment plans and credit are for. This is an investment in your marriage." Every direction we turned, someone was telling us to spend more. The photographer said, "You'll have these photos forever. Don't you want the best?" The florist said, "Flowers set the whole atmosphere. You don't want to skimp." Rachel's bridesmaids kept sending Pinterest boards of elaborate weddings with captions that said, "Goals." Rachel and I sat down and tried to create a realistic budget. We had $8,000 saved combined. We made decent money, but we also had student loans and car payments. "What if we did something simple?" I suggested. "Small ceremony, backyard reception, keep it under $10,000. Rachel nodded, but I could see the disappointment in her eyes. Then her dad pulled me aside. "Listen, son, her mother and I want to contribute $10,000 to the wedding. We want Rachel to have a beautiful day." Suddenly, we had $18,000 to work with. "We can make this work," Rachel said. "We'll be careful. We'll do $18,000 and not a penny more." But here's the thing about weddings. Costs spiral. The venue was $8,000, catering for 150 guests was $12,750, photography was $3,500, Rachel's dress was $2,200, flowers were $2,800, DJ was $1,500, invitations, decorations, hair and makeup, rehearsal dinner, cake, rings. The total came to $35,350. We were $17,350 over budget. "We'll put it on credit cards," Rachel said. "We'll pay it off quickly." I hesitated, but everyone was so excited. The deposits were down, invitations were ordered. It felt too late to turn back. So we did it. We put $17,350 on credit cards. The wedding was beautiful, truly perfect. Everything looked exactly like the Pinterest boards. Our guests had an amazing time. We left for our honeymoon on cloud 9. Then we came home, and reality crashed in. We had $17,350 in credit card debt at 22% interest. The minimum monthly payments were $520. Plus our rent was $1,400, student loans were $650, car payments were $480, insurance, utilities, groceries. We were broke immediately, before our marriage was even 2 weeks old. Every month we were paying over $500 just in interest, and the balance stayed stuck around $16,000. 3 months into marriage, we had our first major fight about money. Rachel wanted to buy a couch for our empty living room. "We can't afford a couch," I snapped. "We're drowning in debt from a wedding that lasted 5 hours. She started crying. "So we just live with nothing? We had nice at our wedding," I shot back, "and now we're paying for it every single month." The fights became more frequent. The debt became a constant source of tension. We couldn't go out to dinner with guilt. We couldn't take weekend trips. We couldn't think about saving for a house or having kids because we were trapped. 6 months into marriage, Rachel said something that broke my heart. "I wish we'd just gone to the courthouse. I'd trade that perfect day for a peaceful marriage." That night, I opened my Bible to Proverbs 22:7. "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender." We were slaves. Slaves to Visa and MasterCard. Slaves to a decision we'd made for one day that was now affecting every single day of our marriage. The wedding was 5 hours, but the debt, that was going to take 3.5 years to pay off. Rachel and I made a decision. We were going to attack this debt with everything we had. We moved to a cheaper apartment. We sold stuff we didn't need. We cut our budget to bare bones. Every extra dollar went to the debt. It was brutal. Some months we ate rice and beans. We drove old cars that kept breaking down. We watched friends go on trips and buy houses while we scraped together every penny. But something beautiful happened. Our marriage got stronger. We learned to be a team. We learned contentment. We learned to communicate about money instead of fighting about it. It took 3.5 years, but we paid it off. 3.5 years of sacrifice for 5 hours of celebration. The day we made that final payment, Rachel and I just sat in our car and cried. We were finally free. Here's the truth. The borrower is slave to the lender. That's not just about money. It's about freedom. When you finance your wedding, you're trading years of freedom for one day of celebration. The wedding industry wants you to believe your wedding day defines your marriage, that if it's not perfect and expensive and Instagram-worthy, your marriage will be less than. But I've been to $50,000 weddings that ended in divorce, and I've been to courthouse ceremonies followed by 50 years of faithfulness. Your wedding doesn't determine your marriage. Your daily choices do. And starting your marriage buried in debt makes those daily choices so much harder.
Thanks for watching. Here are today's reflection questions. If you're engaged or married, what would you tell your past self about wedding spending? Or what do you wish someone had told you before your big day? What's one area of your life right now where you might be trading long-term freedom for short-term approval or appearances? Drop your thoughts about the story in the comments below. Your experience might encourage someone else facing the same choice. If this resonated with you, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more honest conversations about faith, money, and building a life that's truly free.